neon lights of a small supermarket on the outskirts of Dublin flickered now and then. From the outside, it looked just like any other 24-hour store. But Liam, the new night shift employee who started just 2 weeks ago, was beginning to notice something was off about this place. At first, he thought the stories his co-workers told him were just jokes. They said there was a customer who came in exactly at 2 a.m., a customer who never spoke, never bought anything, but always came and went without a sound. Liam didn't believe in ghosts. To him, it was nothing but silly talk meant to scare the new guy. But over time, he started to think there might be some truth to those stories. It all began with the store's automatic door. It always opened on its own, right at 2 a.m. The first time it happened, Liam assumed the sensor was faulty, but when it happened again and again, every single night at the same exact time, he began to feel uneasy. Maybe the door just needs a technician, Liam whispered to himself, trying to stay rational. But then, the other things started happening. He saw products falling off the shelves. At first, just 1 or 2, then more and more. Always the same item, chamomile tea, a specific brand, a brand that was almost always out of stock. One cold night, Liam decided to check the security footage. Curiosity, mixed with a growing fear, pushed him to find the truth. The grainy black and white recording showed something that made his blood run cold. A faint shadow drifting down the aisle, toward the tea shelf. It looked like a woman, long hair, no visible face. She stopped at the shelf, stood there for a few seconds, and then vanished. Liam swallowed hard. His whole body tingled with goosebumps. He dug into the building's past. He found an old article about an accident 7 years ago. A young woman named Sarah was struck by a car right in front of where the store now stood. It happened at 2 a.m. The article said she had just left a store that once stood there, looking for her favorite chamomile tea. But that night, the store had none left. Liam's chest tightened. It all made sense now. What he saw, what he felt, wasn't just his imagination. Sarah was still searching for the tea she never got. With a mix of pity and fear, Liam tried to find a solution. The next night, just before 2 a.m, he deliberately restocked the chamomile tea shelf, the one that was usually empty. He thought, maybe by providing the tea, Sarah's spirit would feel fulfilled and stop coming to the store. Sure enough, at exactly 2 a.m, the door opened again. Liam held his breath. This time he saw nothing. No items fell, no footsteps. That night passed quietly. So did the nights that followed, as long as the chamomile tea shelf remained full. Still, Liam never truly felt at ease in the store again. Every night he checked the chamomile tea. He made sure it was never even slightly empty. The supermarket manager saw Liam as a diligent and dedicated worker, unaware of what truly motivated his commitment to keeping that shelf stocked. A few months later, Liam was called into the manager's office. "Your performance has been excellent, Liam," the manager said with a warm smile. "We're opening a new branch across town. We'd like you to be the supervisor there. What do you think?" Liam paused for a moment. Relief washed over him. The offer had come at just the right time. "Of course, sir," he replied without hesitation. "I'd be happy to take the position." On Liam's last day at the old supermarket, he saw a new employee named Sean who was replacing him. Sean was young, around 23, full of enthusiasm, just like Liam had been when he first started working there. Before leaving the store that night, Liam approached Sean, who was busy organizing items on the shelf. "Sean, can we talk for a moment?" Liam asked. "Sure, what's up, Liam?" Sean replied, looking friendly but slightly confused. "This might sound strange, I know. I might sound like the other co-workers who tried to scare you. But believe me, this isn't just a joke." Sean frowned. "What are you talking about, Liam?" Liam sighed and chose his words carefully. "Every night before 2 a.m, make sure this chamomile tea shelf is always full. Don't let it run empty. If necessary, check it more than once." Sean chuckled at first, thinking Liam was kidding, but seeing Liam's serious expression, his laughter faded. "Is there a specific reason for this?" Sean asked, now serious. Liam gave a faint smile. "One day, maybe you'll understand. But trust me, it's better not to wait until you find out why. Just do it." Sean was silent for a moment, then nodded slowly. "All right, I'll do it." After saying goodbye, Liam left the supermarket for the last time. Outside, the night felt colder than usual, but this time Liam felt a little calmer, like a heavy burden had been lifted off his shoulders. He knew Sean might not believe him, or might think he was strange, but at least Liam had tried. He hoped that, with that bit of advice, Sean wouldn't have to experience the things Liam once had. A new store branch awaited Liam, and this time he was determined to do his job peacefully, far from the dark shadow of 2 a.m. that had haunted him for so long. Still, deep down, he knew he would never forget the experience. With that midnight customer who never stopped searching for chamomile tea. Sophia looked at the clock on the wall of the modern convenience store where she worked. It was 5 minutes past midnight. As always, the city centre of Melbourne was quiet at this hour. The store was bright and clean, a glowing box of light in the middle of a sleeping street. She liked her job. As a final-year university student, the night shift gave her everything she needed: quiet time, a steady paycheck, and space to think. Most nights she studied by the register while soft music played from a small speaker beside her. It was peaceful, but that peace began to shift. It started with a feeling. Every night after midnight, she felt eyes on her. Not just a passing glance, but a steady, unblinking gaze. At first, she blamed exhaustion, long hours, and stress, but soon she saw him. Across the street, under the shadow of a tree, a man stood still, always in the same spot, always watching. He never approached, he never spoke. He just stood there night after night. Sophia tried to brush it off. Maybe he was waiting for someone. Maybe he was homeless. Maybe it was just her mind playing tricks, but deep down, she knew something was off. One night, just before taking a short break in the back room, Sophia walked to the front door and froze. A broken doll lay on the ground, placed right outside. She stared at it for a moment, unsettled, but said nothing. The next night, she found something worse: a photograph. A picture of her, taken while she was working, slid under the door. The angle was close, too close. Her hands trembled. She showed the photo to her manager, Marcus, a tired man in his 50s who barely looked up from his computer. "It's probably a prank," he said. "People do weird things late at night." But Sophia wasn't so sure. Her fear grew stronger when, a few days later, she received an anonymous letter. The letter contained only a short sentence: "I am always watching you." Sophia began to have trouble sleeping. She felt like every step she took was being watched by someone unseen. Every time her shift started, the fear grew stronger. She thought about quitting, but she really needed the money from this job. One night, heavy rain poured over Melbourne. The convenience store was quieter than usual. Sophia decided to check the CCTV footage, hoping to find evidence she could show the police, or at least convince Marcus that this was not just a prank. As she watched the screen, Sophia's heart raced. She saw shocking footage. Someone secretly entering through the back door of the store, which should have been locked tight. The figure wore a dark coat and had their face hidden under a hoodie. They carried a flashlight and moved slowly, creeping as if searching for something or someone. Sophia panicked. Her body shook. Carefully, she stood up from her seat behind the register and moved toward the storage room, hiding behind a rack full of snack stocks. She tried to control her breathing while pressing the small emergency button on her watch, which was directly connected to the police. A safety measure she never thought she would need to use. In the silence of the storage room, Sophia heard footsteps getting closer, wet shoes scraping against the floor. The flashlight beam slowly swept through the aisles, pausing briefly near the storage room door. Sophia covered her mouth to stay silent. Her body trembled badly. She saw the shadow of the man in the crack of the door. He seemed to be searching patiently. Sophia felt time stop as the storage room door slowly opened and the flashlight light entered, illuminating the dark room. "I know you're here, Sophia." The man's voice came softly, almost a whisper. Sophia felt her blood freeze. Suddenly, the sound of police sirens grew louder, approaching the store. The man spun around quickly, startled by the sirens. His slow steps now hurried as he tried to flee out the back door. But it was too late. The police had already surrounded the area. Sophia remained frozen, hidden in her spot, until a police officer came over to make sure she was okay. The mysterious man was quickly caught. After a brief investigation, it was revealed he was a regular customer obsessed with Sophia. He often came during the day, buying small items quietly. But his obsession turned into an uncontrollable possessiveness, leading him to follow and watch Sophia's every move for weeks. Marcus finally apologized to Sophia for not believing her warnings earlier. The police advised Sophia not to work the night shift alone anymore, or at least to leave the job temporarily for her safety. Sophia decided to quit the night shifts. She learned a lot from this ordeal, to be more cautious with strangers, especially when alone at night in a city that seems safe but hides unforeseen dangers. Now, whenever the clock passes midnight, Sophia often wakes up haunted by that frightening experience. She may never return to that store again, but she knows that safety is never to be taken lightly, even in places once considered safe and familiar. A 24-hour supermarket in downtown London was known for being clean and modern. But behind the bright neon lights and neatly arranged shelves, Charlotte always felt something was off. She worked part-time as a night cashier here to support her college expenses. having moved from a small town to chase her dreams. Each night, only a few customers came by, so Charlotte developed a habit of watching their shopping. At first, it was just a way to pass time and ease boredom, but it soon turned serious when she noticed a strange pattern with one regular customer who arrived around 3 a.m. The customer was a thin, middle-aged man, always wearing a black jacket with a hoodie partially covering his face. Every time he came, he bought the exact same items: a kitchen knife, nylon rope, black duct tape, and a strong floor cleaner. Charlotte started feeling uneasy whenever he showed up. His gaze was sharp, as if he was studying her deeply. Yet she tried to push away her bad feelings. One night, Charlotte's curiosity turned to fear when she accidentally saw a local news report on her phone. It covered the mysterious disappearance of a young woman near the area where Charlotte worked. The woman was last seen near the supermarket at midnight, just when the mysterious man made his usual purchases. Her heart raced. She began connecting the items the man bought to the news about the missing woman, but she had no proof to act or even report to the police. The following night, Charlotte decided to watch the man more closely. At exactly 3:03 a.m., like every other night, the man appeared again. Charlotte handled the transaction carefully, watching his every small move. She noticed his trembling hands, dirty fingernails, and restless eyes. After he left the supermarket, Charlotte mustered the courage to follow him quietly. The night was cold, streets empty and dark, lit only by dim streetlights. Keeping a safe distance, Charlotte walked slowly behind him until he reached an old van parked a few meters from the supermarket. Charlotte stopped at the corner of the street, holding her breath as she watched the man open the back door of the van. She was shocked when she heard faint, muffled whimpering coming from inside the vehicle. Her heart pounded loudly. With trembling hands, she pulled out her phone and carefully tried to record the scene. Suddenly, the man turned quickly, as if sensing someone was watching him. Charlotte stepped back hurriedly, but he started moving fast toward her. She ran back to the supermarket, sweat pouring down her body. Once inside, she locked the front door immediately. From behind the glass, she saw the man standing across the street, staring sharply at her before finally turning and walking away. Without delay, Charlotte called the police and showed them the faint video she'd managed to capture. The police arrived shortly after, and after reviewing the footage, they quickly began searching for the man. They managed to catch him at his apartment not far from the supermarket. What the police found was truly horrifying. The apartment was filled with disturbing items, photos of missing young women, personal belongings of the victims, and tools such as knives and ropes still wrapped in plastic from the supermarket where Charlotte worked. The police also discovered a small notebook where the man detailed each of his actions in terrifying detail, including a list of the items he always bought as part of his preparations. Charlotte shuddered when she realized she had been watched for a long time by this man, but somehow had not become his next victim. Though frightened, Charlotte also felt relieved. She never imagined her small curiosity could uncover a crime that had been hidden for so long. She felt guilty for not acting sooner, but at least her actions stopped the dangerous man before he could harm anyone else. After the incident, Charlotte could no longer work peacefully at the supermarket. Every night, she felt anxious whenever the store door opened, fearing the man might return or that someone else with bad intentions might come. But she understood that danger doesn't always come from dark or empty places. It can hide within everyday routines. In the end, Charlotte decided to quit her job and find work that didn't require night shifts. Though the threat had passed, the dark shadow of the mysterious man stayed with her. Now, whenever she passes by that supermarket, Charlotte cannot shake the feeling of dread. She remembers the dark nights she spent there, serving the man who turned out to be terrifyingly dangerous. This experience taught her an important lesson. Behind the ordinary faces we meet every day, there can be something far darker and more horrifying than we ever imagined.